Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Hello there, good morning and welcome to Morning Dew on Dott television. We, as usual, will take you around the papers, what they are saying, and of course, do some analysis of some of the headlines that stand out. And then we'll be doing some conversation as time permits us, and perhaps speak some French. Today is Tuesday. My name is Henry Uzo, and Success is also in the studio. Success.
Yes, indeed. It's a trusting Tuesday morning. Welcome to Morning Dew on Dott Television, where we bring you accurate, factual, and headlines making waves across the globe. I am Success Benjamin. Your day just got brightened. I hope you had a wonderful time resting all through the night and you're doing great this morning. Uzo is in the studio. I like your suit, Uzo.
Thank you so much. You're always looking sharp now.
You too, you're looking great.
As the queen that you are. I'm privileged to do program with you.
Oh my.
Ayana.
Awesome.
Now, I was talking, I don't know how much you love football, but you see, it's my issue. Our Super Falcons, I was telling us on this platform that they didn't show up in this competition.
Yeah.
And it was so unimpressive, let me not use disgraceful, 10-time champions were defeated in their first match. It was a clear defeat. They didn't hold on to the ball. They were coming late on the ball. Their passes were never complete. Our goalkeeper was heavier than necessary.
It feels like they were just reluctant.
And now the NFF has done what they know to do. They have dissolved the technical as if that will solve the problem. But I know that actually our problem in football is with the administration. It's with them, not the players. But it's all right. That's what I thought I should do.
I feel they should also take a critical look into the administration of the football federation, and working with the teams.
They cannot investigate themselves. They cannot look into themselves now, because the problem we have basically, if you look at other climes, football is administered by footballers, those who played. They know the dynamics of the game, they know the administration, they know about equipment, they know about whatever you can provide for, and then how to manage funds. Because most of the time, our players are going out there to play. Government has approved money for them. The NFF will be saying, your money is coming. Or sometimes people are older. I learned recently that Bonfrejo, who led us to win the first Olympic gold medal, has not been paid his allowances. Till now. Shame. Well, sorry we bored you with that, but I know some people would like that bit. You stay by. We'll come back to news update, and of course, Success is standing by. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Asaba, a city by the bank of the River Niger, custodian of ancient culture, the beat of the big heart, the capital of Delta State. Asaba is a bustling metropolis full of life, business, work, and the nerve center of Delta State government. Visitors throng the city of Asaba on daily basis to do business, have meetings, or simply to relax and have some rest. The government reserved area GRA Asaba offers a quiet serenity backed up with the presence of the powerful government house. Nestled within this quiet and serene GRA is number 10 Apartments, a beautiful architectural masterpiece a home away from home. Exquisite, serene, classy, luxury, peaceful, a safe haven.
The apartment is developed to be a home away from home. It's a place where you don't have crowd, and then we want our guests to feel at home whenever they come in, to have their privacy, to be comfortable, to be independent, and feel at home and enjoy their stay.
Number 10 Apartments has elevated the concept of hospitality into an art of luxury nurtured in nature. Its homely ambience is a magnetic pull for those who cherish comfort, nature, serenity, luxury, and safety. Ensconced within the proximity of Government House, Asaba, and the Police Force Headquarters, Delta State, Number 10 Apartments is a perfect place for those who seek complete security and a sanctuary of luxury.
Number 10 Apartment is very, very close to the Government House. Is a walking distance from the Government House to Number 10 Apartment. Because it is located behind the police headquarters, the safety of the environment is guaranteed.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Number 10 Apartments. We are here to deliver the best services.
A sojourn in Number 10 Apartments is a journey of total comfort. From the reception, the ambience fills you with warmth, nature, and class, ideal for short or long-term stays. Welcome to our 3-bedroom presidential luxury apartment, tastefully furnished for your comfortable family or group stay.
In our 3-bedroom apartment, we have a very spacious living room. We have a dining area. We have a mini bar. The master's bed is wonderful. It is a place where you can actually feel at home, like you are in your own house. The restroom is equipped with jacuzzi, and the wardrobe is top-notch. Whatever you find in that master bedroom, I believe you will have the best. Then we have a well-equipped kitchen with electrical appliances.
The elegant 2-bedrooms diplomatic apartment is specially prepared for a smaller group of family, friends, or colleagues. Step into our spacious 1-bedroom executive suite just for your own maximum comfort. Cozy yourself up in our 1-bedroom deluxe suite. Then be all to yourself in our well-appointed studio room for that single room effect. All our apartments are exquisitely furnished and fit for purpose that make your stay memorable. A relaxation at Number 10 Apartment Garden is an elixir of rest, entertainment, and instant satisfaction. Our 24 hours power supply, modern facility, all-round internet service, homemade aura, professional management, a strong culture of customer care, and excellent housekeeping make our guests the kings and queens in number 10 Apartment Kingdom. With a vision to deliver the best comfort and luxury, and a mission to provide a safe and serene accommodation styled like your home, you are surely immersed in paradise. Number 10 Apartments, your maximum comfort and luxury, your safe haven, your serene habitat, makes your stay memorable and cradles you with unique hospitality. Welcome to number 10 Apartment, your nest of luxury.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome to News Update on Morning Dew. And first, we'll begin with Edo State. The Speaker of the Edo State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Blessing Agbebaku, has resigned from office amid moves by some lawmakers to impeach him. Agbebaku's resignation was confirmed on Monday, August 17, by his media aide Ivy Ibujele, who said further details on the circumstances surrounding his resignation would later be made public. Following his resignation, a three-term lawmaker representing Akoko Edo Constituency 1, Yekini Idiaye, emerged as the new speaker. Addressing journalists after Monday's plenary, Idiaye accused the former speaker of poor leadership and alleged corruption, saying his leadership had hindered the work of the assembly. He said the change in leadership was necessary to support Governor Monday Okpebholo's administration. Recall that Agbebaku had previously suspended 3 lawmakers over an alleged plot to remove him and other principal officers of the assembly. The Edo Assembly had also suspended its first sitting of 2026 after bullets and gunshot holes were discovered on the roof of the assembly complex. The police and Department of State Services DSS were subsequently invited to investigate the incidents. The National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has reported a further decline in Nigeria's inflation rate, dropping from 15.91% in June to 15.43% in July 2026. The figure was contained in the NBS Consumer Price Index and inflation report released on Monday. The NBS also reported that food inflation stood at 5.56% on a month-on-month basis in July, while headline inflation rose by 1.75% month-on-month. Meanwhile, the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, recently retained the monetary policy rate MPR at 26.5%. The decision was announced by CBN Governor Olayemi Kadoso following the 305th Monetary Policy Committee meeting in Abuja. The committee also retained the cash reserve ratio at 45% for deposit money banks and 16% for merchant banks while keeping the liquidity ratio at 30%. The CBN said the decision followed an assessment of domestic economic conditions and emerging global risk. Now on NDC, the national leader of the Nigerian Democratic Congress, NDC, Senator Saraki Dixon, has appointed 3 new aides ahead of the 2027 general elections. According to a statement issued on Monday by NDC National Publicity Secretary, the appointments include Sani Takori as political advisor, Vincent Martins Ilo as chief technical advisor, and veteran journalist Steve Wosu as spokesman. The statement said the appointments, which took immediate effect, are aimed at strengthening the senator's political operations, administration, and strategic communication. Takori, a lawyer and former lawmaker, has held several legal and public service positions, including Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice in Zamfara State. Ilo is a broadcast journalist and public relations expert with nearly 4 decades of experience. He previously served as special advisor on media to Enugu State Governor and was also a member of the governing board of the National Broadcasting Commission. Wosu is a veteran journalist and political communication strategist who has worked with major Nigerian newspapers, including The Guardian, This Day, and The Sun. The NDC said the 3 appointees were selected based on their professional experience and track records. Now on entertainment, BB Niger Big Brother organizers Season 11 have explained the reason behind housemate Nechi Maduagu's voluntary exit from the reality TV show. Nechi left the show on Sunday shortly after the live eviction program while serving as a head of house for the week. Before leaving, she informed her fellow housemates that she had decided to quit, but did not disclose the personal circumstances behind her decisions. The organizers, in a statement on Monday, confirmed that her exit was voluntary, saying she had pressing personal matters that required her immediate attention. They praised Nature for her energy and contributions to the show, noting her achievements during a time in the house. The organizers said they respected her decisions and wished her success in her future endeavors, adding that she remains part of the BB Niger family. Now on sports, the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, has directed the technical crew of the Super Falcons to step down with immediate effect. The NFF's executive committee announced the decision on Monday, August 17, in a brief statement on X, but did not give reasons for the directive. The decision follows the Super Falcons' disappointing 2026 campaign, which saw Nigeria lose to Cameroon in the WAFCON quarterfinals and subsequently miss out on qualification for the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. Nigeria also suffered a 3-2 defeat to Malawi in their opening group match. Malawi, competing in the tournament for the first time, went on to reach the final. The latest development means head coach Justice Madugu and his assistant Godwin Okon are expected to leave their position. The NFF appointed Madugu and Okon to the Super Falcons technical crew in November 2021. We wrap it here for news updates. You are still watching Morning Dew. Plenty more to come when we return after this break. Don't go away.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. And of course, we are going straight to what the papers are saying. The first is this day. On this day, we have inflation moderates to 15.43% despite surge in food prices. Severe in Adamawa, Yobe, Anambra, others. Those are the places where we have high food prices. UK chairs Adeleke flags beavers, vote buying, accessibility issues in Osun poll. Then, of course, top there we have Necons/Nest Oil respond to malicious, despicable report on alleged $60 million EFCC recovery. I think that's all we can take on this day.
Now, moving away from this day and looking at the Empire newspaper we have here, the $50 billion opportunity beneath our waters. That's coming from Dr. Michael TD, saying every petroleum province is blessed twice. Yes, that's our own Empire newspaper. Now, the topical story here say Plateau under fire again. Dozens feared dead as militants raised Jawak Maitumbi. And here we have another story making the headlines. Say Kebbi police arrest 19-year-old for alleged newborn adoption. And that's all we could take for the Empire newspaper.
And this morning we're moving to the Nigerian Tribune, and on the Nigerian Tribune we have that bold headline: UK raises concerns over vote buying. NBA warns of Beavers challenges ahead of 2027. And top of the story there, we have Nigeria's inflation drops to 15.43%. Food prices remain high month to month. EU approves 1.5 million euros emergency aid for Nigeria's cholera response, and NDLEA destroys 301 billion naira worth of cocaine, heroin, opiates, and others in Lagos. And another headline says 22 killed as bandits attacked Sokoto community. That's the much we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Now let's take a look at what the Guardian has for us this morning. Here we have FG targets 6,000 MW wheeling capacity before December. Oyedele seeks stronger fiscal Federalism tasks states on economic diversification. Osun polls raises 2027 questions as APC reviews defeat, observers flag flaws. And here we have concerns as cost of living pressure lingers despite easing inflation. And down here we have calculated falsehood, malicious blackmail, and despicable campaign of character assassination. Nekonde, Nestor, rejoinder to the sponsored paid advertorial publications of August 17, 2026, that's deceitfully alleged crime-based recovers. And now, that's all we could take for the guidance.
All right, over to the nation. Inflation declines, food prices fall further. APC, NDC, ADC, others get INEX nod for campaigns. Tinubu, that's a rider to it. Tinubu Obi Atiku, free to canvass for votes. Parties not ready for marathon storm. Why Edo Speaker Agbebaku was forced to quit. And then, of course, above the masthead, we have calculated falsehood, despicable campaign of character assassination, Necon/Nest Oil, rejoinder to sponsored advertorial of August 17, 2026 that allege crime-based recoveries. Oshu workers hold victory rally for Adeleke. All that on the nation.
Now, looking on the Punch, we have above the masthead, WAEC under fire over 2026 results, alleged grading anomalies, pension arrears, ex-soldiers set to protest at Defense Ministry, terrorists kill 28 in Sokoto community, Army GOC visits. Then beside the masthead, we have Buhari Estate Row. Amosu hits back at Abiodun. And down here, other stories making teachers crisis. 32 million Nigerian people's shares 592.77 teachers. Oniru Estate, 2 months blockage leaves Lagos residents stranded. Osun local government crisis, policemen injured as Adeleke chairman seized secretariats. Now, the topical story here says 31 states spent 252 billion naira on security in 6 months. The riders down below, 22 states security bill jumps by 90% as governor tackles insecurity. Spending covers security equipment, personnel, security votes. Others experts seek tech deployment. Kogi Plateau Bauchi spent only 32% of security budget in 6 months. And that's all we could take for the Punch.
And moving to the Daily Sun this morning, we have a bold headline: UK identifies vote buying, Beavers lapses, and hails Governor Adeleke. And of course, we have another headline there coming from the Minister of Finance: no state is struggling to pay salaries again, says Finance Minister Oyedele. And moving on to the issue of xenophobia, another headline there says, fresh batch of Nigerians from South Africa sponsored by private individuals arrive tomorrow. And that's the much we can take from the Daily Sun this morning.
All right, so let's take a look at what the Vanguard has for us this morning. We have food inflation rate rises 5th consecutive month to 20.31%. IBB, IGP, Ike Iwanchukwu Osoba, Obiagbena, others for Vanguard at 40, book launch tomorrow. Then we have 85th birthday. No leader has impacted Nigeria as Babangida. That's Tinubu speaking. Your votes will count. INEC assures Nigeria. That's looking towards the 2027 election. Now, the major headline here, how 24 firms control over 70% of Nigeria's stock market, 9 banks, 5 consumer goods, 3 industrial goods firm top lists. We have Osun Polls, APC claims internal wrangling cost defeats. Army draws battle line with Lakurawa terrorists. Xenophobia at it again. FG to evacuate 83 Nigerians from South Africa tomorrow. NBF rejects forcible land allocation for cattle ranching in M-Belt in the Middle Belt. ASU threatens indefinite strike as 200 Kaduna Varsity lecturers resigns. And that's all we could take for Vanguard.
And moving to Business Day this morning, we have another headline there that says Nigeria's 5-week reign as world's top stock market ends as South Korea surges. Now, of course, we have another one. Taxes keep intra-African flights pricier than long-haul Europe. And the bold headline caption this morning for Business Day says rising food prices weaken Nigeria's disinflation gains.
Bringing us to Daily Trust and the last of it. Campaign cancers, consultation intensified as INEC lift ban tomorrow. NICAM recapitalization fees raise dust. Another topical story there says food prices rise as inflation slows. Flooded Abuja mansions raise questions over green areas. Osun Adeleke supporters move to take over council secretariat. NDLEA destroys 301 billion naira drugs in Lagos. 23-year-old asks mothers to death. And that's all we could take for Daily Trust. And that's it for newspaper headline this morning. Stay with us. When we return, we're going to look at topical stories as it concerns us.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Only humility will lead us to unity, and unity will lead us to peace.
Go to the market and sell your products.
up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. We are going over to the headlines to look at them. And of course, Godfrey Ubaka is already with us. Godfrey.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
And of
Good
course,
morning,
and
Mr.
your crew.
Godfrey.
of course, while we're on, Priska, join us.
Yeah.
Priska, you're welcome too.
Thank you.
All right.
In a colorful apparel.
In fact, your own is
I'm trying to follow
your sky blue is more colorful. All right, let's start like this. Let's tidy up with Osun State. There are still some fallouts.
Interesting fallout.
Yes. Now UK, perhaps from the observation, saying that the beavers did not work as they should. And then there were observations of vote buying and asking that this should be checked against 2027. And then, of course, the APC as a party who said they were studying the results have now come out to say that they lost because there were some infightings. How do we tie that up?
Well, Oshu is still in the news, and the various newsrooms across the country, they are making a good treatment out of it. One APC came out yesterday to say, yes, APC lost to APC.
Okay.
Yes. The meaning of that is that there were internal wranglings.
All right.
That the president noticed, because don't forget that Nuru Ribadu had come in to do a security survey, as it were.
Okay.
Yes, a preview of the situation in Osun State, and found out that if APC went into that election with the state of APC in Osun State, that APC was going to lose.
Okay.
Based on that, the presidency summoned leaders of APC to Aso Rock, and they tried to do a last-minute rescue, by promising them that should they work as a team, and they win, that of course the win will be for APC all.
Okay.
And of course, we know what goes on with such meetings. There are differences, they try to sort out their differences and all that, but it was already late in the day. It was already late in the day, and at the end of the day, APC that said they are studying the election results with an option of possibly going to court, came out yesterday to tell the world that APC had their divisions, and they possibly also underrated the person of Adeleke. Adeleke had his grassroots support and had also performed even within the situation, the circumstances he found himself, because we do recognize that there were some funds that were supposed to go to local government. That because of the issues, the lingering issues, Oyetola had organized an election even after he was supposed to be preparing to hand over to Adeleke. You understand, local government elections. So you find out that constitutionally, there are supposed to be 3 tiers of government: federal, the state, and local government. But Osun's situation had been such that the local government situation was neither here nor there. So that is why even after the declaration of the election, we have it in the news, in all the news platforms, that his supporters have now gone in because they conducted an election, and the winners, Adeleke had told the winners to hold on until after the governorship election, so that there wouldn't be a clash, because APC, those elected under the auspices of APC, were still occupying the local government secretariats and also the motor parks. Don't ask me what motor parks are doing in democracy. They are structures. They are structures. You understand? So now that they had affirmed that their person is in charge in the state, as at yesterday, they went and took over these structures. Yes. Based on that, the UK has come to say, of course, Adeleke has become a symbol of hope for Nigerians' democracy. But that while the election was going on, that independent observers, both local and international, did observe that vote buying was still going on. Don't forget that Adeleke's brother, who is supposed to be Davido's father, said that when he himself heard of, I think it's in Tribune, that when he himself heard that APC was offering 50,000 naira per vote,
that they spent 60 billion naira.
Yes, 50,000 naira per vote, per vote, that he went into his room and he prayed a prayer. He said, may the voters in Osun collect this 50,000 naira. It is their money. But may they still vote for their conscience. May they still vote. And he said that God answered that prayer. And they collected the money, and voted Adeleke. So that brings about the issue of vote buying. How come that people who find themselves in political positions of authority will not prioritize service to the people? Development through infrastructure.
Instead, they want
How
to stash
would
money
they
away.
want to stash that money and weaponize poverty by making people to be beggarly, so that during the election you bring out the money that is their money and dangle as carrots to them to buy the vote. So that is an issue. But of course, one of the observers was in one of the national televisions a few hours ago, and he did say that vote buying has become more like an issue, but that is difficult to really eradicate, because of course you see that these days funds are being transferred via phone. These days, you are conducting an election in a polling booth, and you see that there are people selling things around. And you cannot ask them not to be around there. There are eateries around. And so those things you don't come to see people saying, where are you going to vote? Take this money. It's not done while they are queuing. But there is this tacit understanding. You vote, come and show evidence of where you voted, and you come and take this, a plate of food. So that is it. So it is packaged in such a form that eradicating it becomes very, very difficult. But it has to do with a lot more of voter sensitization and voter education.
Who does that? Who does that?
The parties should do that. INEC should do that. And the media should also do that.
The media, because the parties are the ones.
Yes, the media should also do that. You cannot deny people what is their due in a democracy for 4 years and come out on the day of election to give them. Yes, ideologically you will say, oh, take, but vote your conscience. But in some other ways, you should also say, no, use the money for the right, use the money for the right purpose.
Okay, I still want us to talk about, still on the Osun election and the observation of the British High Commission. So I saw something in the papers this morning that the British High Commission, aside from commending to a large extent the peaceful process of the election in Osun State, they actually observed something, that the advantages that come with some of these off-cycle gubernatorial elections, cannot be replicated when it comes to general election, such as advantages such as being able to deploy as many security officials as possible and deploying the resources needed, because this is off-cycle, that they can't replicate that when it comes to 2027. Do you agree with that statement?
Perfectly so. The off-cycle elections we usually have in Anambra, in just like what we have had in Edo or Osun, you see that there is concentration of resources, manpower, early arrival of materials and all that. You saw almost over flooding of the whole of Osun with policemen. Thank God that by the rules they were not armed. But some of them had canisters, and we saw a situation where one was exploding at some point, discharging at some point. They explained that he was trying to ease himself, and that one fell and all that, but some of those things are not quite tenable. But facing the situation the way it is, Osun has given Nigerians democracy some level of hope. But again, the question, as UK had tried to observe, is going towards 2027. Will INEC be able to replicate this in
The states.
All of the states.
of the
Will the
federation.
manpower be there? Will the security presence be there? And will the logistics
Still be
of early arrival of materials? Most times INEC has its own way of collaborating with road transport workers and all that. You know, so will you be able to deliver materials like with that same timeline? You know, in Borno. And don't forget, we have parts of this country that are still under the throes of insecurity and all that, you know. So will you be able to do that? And when there is that gap, that yawning lacuna, how will we be able to address all that? You know, but I think there is still some leverage of timelining for INEC to actually come out and see how they can put their ass together. The expectation was that with a number of the APC governors relocating to Osun, with the level of cash available to the APC in Osun, that they were going to overrun Osun. That was the fear.
But that was possible because they're not going to vote. No,
but that did not happen. So concerned Democrats, how now are they beginning to think that yes, you could get the governors, all the governors behind you. You may be just having some 36 or so votes. But
they're not going to vote. The governors are not going to vote in a regional election.
No, we are talking about 2027 election.
Okay.
If you have all the governors by your side, you have about 26 or so votes. But if your policies have not impacted positively on the people, then you will now be with your governors and perhaps some of the cohorts who benefited from your policy. But you will be running election entirely against the people.
Yeah.
And if the people have resolved to vote and stand by their vote, and like some NGOs are saying, if there is a timely uploading of the results through Beavers, that they will be able to monitor it, that hours after the election, they should be able to say, this is the person. So there is a level of confidence that is returning to our democratic process.
It's still evolving.
That is evolving.
You know, there's an aspect that I feel that we have not touched.
What's that?
And that's the influence of the NURTW when it comes to elections in Nigeria.
How do you mean?
We saw that play out in Lagos.
You're talking of the National Union of Road Transport Workers.
Yes, the influence.
They work with INEC to deliver materials.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then prior to the election in Osun State,
okay,
we saw the video coming out to say that the NURTW chairman, the MC Oluomo and all the rest, accusing them of planning violence during the election and calling out, crying out. And we saw some of these things usually play out when we have elections.
National Union of Road Transport Workers is some level of euphemism for thuggery.
Yes.
You know, outside this balance, outside this, public communication platform, they call them agboros now.
Yeah.
They call them agboros. You know, so that's talking about the tuggery, which we believe that as our democratic process gets refined, we should be able to eliminate such. You know, they need them for the atmospherics when they go to campaign and all that. But democracy should be by persuasion and not by coercion.
Not by coercion.
Exactly.
You don't need to coerce, and you really don't need to come and seize ballot box and run away with it. And that is where you need some of those elements.
All right, so much on that. Maybe to tie up on elections, by tomorrow, INEC will lift ban on campaign. And we expect the presidential campaign should start. What are we looking at against the background of high costs, logistics, and all that? In those days, we used to see candidates touch all the states or the federation, come to campaign. If it's governorship, the governor will drive to almost all of the local government areas.
Yes.
With the bad roads, with the insecurity.
The lifting of
How
the
much
ban,
are we seeing
the
of
lifting of
campaign
the
this time?
ban is just to formalize to take a takeoff, a formal takeoff.
Yeah.
You will agree with me that on the pages of the papers, on the social media, campaigns have been on. though subtly.
Subtly.
Obi was in Delta about last week.
Okay.
He was in Benue to commiserate with people who lost their family members during. So they have been moving.
Pockets.
They have been moving. But now we expect that the movement will be a lot more mobilized.
Now, we're looking at the cost and the possibility of a much more robust campaign this time around.
Yes, the cost for the ruling party will not be an issue. Okay. But for the opposition, it will require a whole lot of mobilization. But do not also forget that if you want to change the trajectory of a nation, you really do not need all the billions from individuals or from the government coffers. If you have a structure that is workable, American presidents have known to do their campaign through donations from school children. I believe in this ideology. My parents told me of this ideology. And from my lunch money, I am donating this. So a pool of resources from those who believe in what you are saying, that put together goes further than what some governors may have started out. That we now can galvanize
individual who
and
want to buy contracts.
Yes, money. If money wins election, by now APC should be celebrating their victory in Osun State. Because all the governors who went there,
they didn't go empty.
They didn't just go empty-handed. But at the end of the day, you still find out that the people believed in a different narrative and had to vote along the line of that narrative, and that is what is opening the eyes of the people to the possibility of that the narrative can be altered even in 2027.
Okay, so looking forward to the 2027 general elections, like you rightly state that Governor Adeleke has the grassroots foundation structure. So don't you think, or what do you have to say, to, other governors and also the federal government, like looking into grassroots?
Impact on the people. Let your record speak for you.
Exactly.
You do not need to muzzle one arm or the other of the government. No. One of the highlights in today's major newspapers has to do with a neighboring Edo state and the way the speaker was forced to resign.
Okay.
You understand?
Do you force somebody to resign? Because that is a bit rare. We hear of impeachment.
No.
We have impeached him.
No, go and study his speech.
Okay.
He said he led the procession this morning with instruction to come and resign. That he had been asked to resign this morning. And that he wants to resign to allow peace to be in the state. And that brings us to the issue of separation of power. The founding fathers of democracy say that, executive, legislature, and judiciary. And if you come to think of it, why is it that you inaugurate the assembly first before you swear in a governor? In most of the cases. How come that even in a democracy, we have administrators now, sole administrators.
Yeah.
They are the executive. So the legislature is the soul of democracy.
Okay.
That's why they call them the hallowed chamber, the soul of democracy. But by the time you do not give them the free hand to elect who should be their speaker or whatever, when there is that interference from the executive, just like we have had in Edo State, where the governor gave instruction on the speaker to resign, and the speaker came and announced it there that he's resigning. Because out of about their 24 or so local government, 18 had already signed his impeachment process.
Notice.
Yeah. So knowing that, and you do not just ask a honorable member representing a constituency sign this. You have been there in the house, and you know what plays out.
Obtains.
For every signature, there is money given out. Why will we continue using our money in that direction when there are still families out there who cannot eat, when there are still schools that are leaking, people are studying in leaking roofs?
Now let's look at this, the technicality, because for the ordinary man, They say she resign. I don't want to resign. What is the difference or the implication of resigning and being impeached? Is there any
No.
disadvantage?
It's about profiling.
Okay.
You know, if it goes into your CV that you were impeached,
That means you were a bad speaker.
you were a bad speaker.
Okay.
You understand? So he tried to save that situation by saying that he is resigning. But of course, in the speech that he delivered, he explained why he is resigning. That he's not resigning. He said he wasn't born to be a speaker.
Okay.
That he was resigning
He was
because
never elected to be a speaker.
Yes, he had instructed his staff and said, move my things to the
My
office of the person representing Owan East, my local government, and not the speaker's office. So he had prepared his mind in there. But the question should be, the leadership of a state assembly, should it emerge from within the assembly, or should it be most of the impeachments, most of the change of buttons in houses of assembly, and even in the National Assembly, they are instigated from the executive? And that is the question we are asking. Should that be the case normally?
All right.
Okay, I
We
want
have
to also marry
answered
that
the
to
question because of our time.
suspended
Because of our time. We just take this one. He has answered the question. The technicality. One is, if you are impeached, your record is spoiled as a politician. But when you resign, it's honorable. All right. Let's look at this one before we go, because our time is against us. 200 lecturers resigned from Kaduna University, and ASU is threatening strike. In fact, some state universities, their staff union are on strike. What does that portend for us? This is in building up to the election.
It's a painful reality. It's very, 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 very painful. You know, at some point, somebody said ASU has become synonymous with strike. You know, and universities are closed for months because most of the political elites, their children are not schooling in here. They are out
in the
there,
country.
you know. And if you are a product of University of Ife, and you possibly stayed in one of the hostels there, when next you are around Ife, go to visit the hall you stayed. Try to locate the room you stayed, and get in there and find out whether it's still livable. You were possibly using a toilet system that you could flush there.
Yeah.
You know, now they do what they call short put. You know, people defecate in and
then throw it somewhere
away.
into the
And
bush.
you ask yourself, are we producing leaders from here? That is the public university system. And the way it is at the federal universities, it is even worse at the state
level.
You know, and sometime in
Some state universities are better.
2025, ASU renegotiated the terms, you know, their welfare, their salaries, research grants, and all that. They renegotiated, and it was celebrated. And some of us felt, oh, that will bring an end to strike. But the reality we have now, as we speak, is that a number of state universities have not domesticated that agreement that ASU had with the federal government. It was done at the federal level. What stops us from domesticating it at this level? Because
it's the issue of no money.
That's the issue.
Our time has failed us, Ubaka. Thank you for being there. We'll have you some other time.
Mr. Mbaka.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you,
you are
Mr.
standby. When we come back, we're going over to sports because Tony is standing by. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. Because that montage announced where we're going to. Anthony Uche is already in the studio.
Good morning.
What's happening with you on sports?
Good morning, Anthony.
Good morning.
Good morning, Anthony.
Well, thank you. There's always something happening, either here or some other part of the world. And today we'll start off with some domestic football news because the NFF posted on their official X handle a statement yesterday which read thus. The NFF has ordered the technical crew of the Super Falcons to step down with immediate effect. So they didn't say they sacked them, because I think a lot of people are misquoting and misunderstanding that statement. They were asked to step down. They were not sacked. Because when you use the word sacked or fired,
it has a lot of implications.
Yes, it has a lot of implications which could range from financial to legal and everything. Yes, exactly. So, but they were Justin Madugu and his technical crew were asked to step down, quote, step down with immediate effect. And that, for me, I mean, it's symptomatic of a lot of the bad things that have been going on with the NFF and Nigerian football subsequently in the past few weeks or so. Because when you have the power to get rid of somebody who has obviously failed, because the Super Falcons have had their worst outing as an AFCON in the last perhaps 15 years or so, failing to even get to the semi-finals for the first time and failing to qualify for a World Cup for the first time since 1991. So that is a huge shame. It's a thing of embarrassment. And for them to only be asking them to step aside or step down with immediate effect shows that they really do not have what it takes to take decisions. What I mean when I say take decisions, if you want to get rid of somebody, you outrightly tell them to leave the job or you sack them outrightly. But for them to come out and try to be smart or try to be economic with the truth by saying step aside, which means if you step aside, you forfeit whatever contingency payments or whatever termination payments that they have to pay you, or severance package that comes with being sacked at a job.
And also using the term immediate effect.
Immediate, I mean, they can say whatever, and they can say they want them gone yesterday. It doesn't change anything. If Justin Madugu decides he will step down and he has a valid contract, you have to sack him ultimately, and that will, like I said, it will imply some financial penalties and all of that stuff. So I just think this is the NFF trying to, as usual, trying to push blames, trying to point every other person but themselves into the limelight. And let's be honest with you, the NFF, the National Sports Commission, suspended the election that was supposed to hold in a few weeks. And they've said an interim organization or an interim body will take over the NFF for a little while. I think all of these things are really, really unnecessary. What has to happen is what also has to happen at FIFA. The people who are not doing their jobs, Ibrahim Musa Gusso, resign, leave the office of the NFF president, let another election be held, do not contest in the upcoming election. I don't understand why they are trying to put, because you will be surprised, but I won't be, if that interim body ends up being the leaders of the NFF in the next 2 years or the next 3 years, because that's what we really do in this country. And that's news, also rumors are also circulating, not verified yet, that the person who the NSC is looking at to chair that interim NFF committee will be Mr. Amaji Pinnick himself, who was the immediate past NFF president, under whom I think a lot of the problems in Nigerian football has now started. It's gotten worse over time, but it really did start with him when he became president of the NFF. And his tenure is over. He should not be at the glass house anymore. But for some reason, I think they're trying to find a way, or he is trying to find a way through the NSC to get back into that office. He came out to support Gianni Infantino, embarrassingly, for the FIFA future enterprise that he did, that a lot of countries who love football condemned. He came out to support it. Why? Because Nigeria was set to earn a largesse of about $40 million if that enterprise had been a thing that succeeded. So I think a lot of these people, all of these things are pointing towards people who really do not care about the future of the game. Fail to develop grassroots players, fail to develop grassroots tournaments, then run over to UK, run over to any other part of the world and get Nigerian-born players, or to get players who have Nigerian decency or Nigerian ancestry to their name, who are really doing well, developed by other nations, playing for other countries, bring them to play for Nigeria, so that they cover up for that lapse in development of talent. Because that's what these people have been doing. If you look across the NFF and the Super Eagles, you barely find about 5 players who were developed playing in Nigeria.
Local league.
Yes, and that's what ends up happening when you lack identity. I mean, we talked about Spain so many times here. You know what Spain does. You know what, you go about all of the cities in Spain, you see children playing football in the field, you see children playing football on the streets.
So they catch them young.
Yes, and they're playing
They have
exactly
academies.
one pattern of football. Across Spain, everybody knows Spain plays tiki-taka. That is what they do. You look across Dutch football, although they're struggling at the moment, but there's the total football, which Johan Cruyff made popular by himself, which is very, very similar to tiki-taka as well. And then you look across all other parts of the world, you see an identity of what a nation should be like. And that starts at the grassroots level. But you come to Nigeria, with all due respect to Nigeria, when we had our best years in the 1994, 1996 Olympics and 1994 World Cup, which was our first outing at the World Cup, and a lot of the great things that happened with Nigerian football came as a result of Nigeria playing 4-4-2. Two wingers who absolutely run you into the ground, cross the ball with their stronger foot. There's a striker there, be it Rashidi Yekini or some other person who is really strong to head the ball into the net. They used to call it police football. We played physical football, and that was our thing. But you look across the board now, Nigeria, we don't even have an identity anymore, because then you have a lot of players who bring different ideologies, different developments, and different backgrounds. You force all of them to play in one team. If you come up against teams that are really good, which has unfortunately been our case in the last 3 or 4 years, you will get beaten. So what I'm trying to say in essence is the problem is deeper than sacking Madugu. The problem is deeper than getting rid of one coach. The problem is deeper than asking them to step down. You don't even have the willpower to tell them to get sacked.
It's like a foundational problem.
Yes, it is. It is a very, very big problem that goes beyond what we see on the surface
But
level.
you know, one thing I admire so much about Justin Madugu is that last week here, there was a statement I saw by him acknowledging that, he agreed that he failed. He has failed Nigerians.
Of course,
He
whether
promised
he
them
agreed
that-
or not,
But you know,
he
a lot of
failed. It
people
was very
not
glaring.
acknowledge.
No, he didn't
has
do
to.
it.
He has
Even his choice of players.
So let me give you an instance about what you said. I actually agree with her. Madugu coming out to say, yes, I failed. I was wrong. I apologize. It's something not necessarily a lot of them would do, because why?
Yes, exactly.
Going up to the tournament, they were simply set up to fail. What do I mean? Remember, the women's AFCON was supposed to take place a lot earlier this year, around March, before the World Cup kicked off. CAF, for some reason, in their wisest of wisdoms, or whatever it is, pushed it to come in the summer after the World Cup. And that meant there was a wider margin of preparation to prepare. And I will tell you that the Super Falcons, in that period of extended about 3 or 4 months that they got, they didn't play more than 2 friendlies.
Yeah. They didn't prepare.
Their counterparts who were supposed to play at the same competition with them were busy booking other friendlies, making contingency plans as a result of the extension in the date. Super Falcons did not play more than 2 friendlies, and a lot of those were on the training grounds behind closed doors. You did not prepare for tournaments that way.
You are prepared to fail.
Yes. So I think with the NFF failing to find oppositions for them, failing to find friendlies for them, Justin Madugu and his side was set up to fail. Because you didn't give them adequate preparation. The captain, Rachida Tajibade, she was clamoring for friendlies. She was lamenting the lack of friendlies for the Super Falcons, and it all fell on deaf ears. Why? Because the people at the glass house do not know their job, simply.
All right, because of time. What's your next story?
Well, I mean, we'll still come back to Nigeria, but I was still, yesterday I was not here to talk about the fantastic job the Cameroonian, the Indomitable Lionesses did, winning their first ever African Women's Africa Cup of Nations at the 4th attempt. Nigeria has always been a problem. Whenever they made it to the final, Nigeria have always been there to deny them of that glory moment, but they were not to be denied on Sunday.
This time.
Yes, they were not to be denied against the Scorchers of Malawi, who, on the other hand, have had a fantastic tournament. Debutants, their first time at a continental tournament. They did not only get out of the group, which I think was probably their target heading into a tournament. As a debutant, let's just see what happens. Make it out of the group, get that 150,000 solidarity payment from CAF, and just go home and try to develop your sport. They did not only do that, they went as far as the finals, beating Nigeria, Ghana along the way. So they beat a lot of people who you did not expect them to do. So for the Scorchers to have gotten there and pocketed $1 million, in performance bonuses and performance payments is a fantastic thing for them. And I expect that having qualified for the 2027 World Cup as well at the first attempt,
they will make a good impression.
Yes, they will not only make a good impression, but I think this board that they've started rolling now will probably go on a lot longer for Malawian football. And then finally, we talk about people who reinvigorate or find themselves after a long time, after doing something for a long time. We talk about a tennis player, Roberto Batista Agut, who is a Spaniard, who at the ripe old age of 36 recently retired from playing professional tennis, but over the weekend he's made his debut as a professional footballer at the 7th year of Spanish football. And from all indications, he was quite good because he scored a couple of goals as a result. And if you look across the picture that was just on the screen a few moments ago of him playing tennis, look at that badge on his right sleeve.
Yeah.
That is a Villarreal, that's a football club.
Okay.
So he's so much in love with that club that even in his own tennis, he has the badge of his favorite club embedded or scripted on his own jersey. Yes, on his sportswear in a different sport entirely. And at 14, he was playing football up to the age of 14 in the Villarreal Academy, as you can see him right there. But he decided to switch over to tennis. And that love hasn't seemed to die, because after so many years playing tennis, he had a very relatively good career in tennis. Won 12 singles titles, also got to semi-finals of Wimbledon, which is, for a lot of players who are not, if you're a tennis player and you are fortunate, just like a lot of footballers, you are born in the era that had Novak Djokovic in it, Roger Federer in it, and Rafael Nadal in it, it is a big handicap for you.
Yeah.
So for him to have achieved so much playing alongside those players, he could look back and say he had a relatively successful tennis career. But that was not enough for Agut, because he has now switched over to football. He scored a couple on his debut.
So which club is he playing for?
Switch over to football.
Yes, he's playing for
Awesome.
a small club, Cobracela or something like that. But it is a small club in the city of Valencia, 7th division, 7th tier.
I like
very,
that.
very
But is he
low on the
professional?
pecking order. But he is a professional or amateur at worst, which is not easy. Look across that page. He's playing with other human beings. He's playing with other human beings.
When you play for a club, it's no longer amateur now. When you that's professional football.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you can. There are still some clubs who play at the semi-pro or amateur.
Tony, if I want to
he signed a 1-year contract, so they have so much faith in him to give him up to 1 year at 38 years of age, making his debut as a pro. So he must have shown something really good in training.
All right, Tony, thank you.
The pleasure.
Always warming up our studio with your sports
Thank
news.
you very much.
Thank you, Tony.
Yeah,
We'll see you some other time.
hopefully.
Well, viewer, stand by.
Thank you, Tony.
When we come back, we'll go into other issues. I'm sure we'll be speaking some French. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Asaba, a city by the bank of the river Niger, custodian of ancient culture, the beat of the big heart, the capital of Delta State. Asaba is a bustling metropolis full of life, business, work, and the nerve center of Delta State government. Visitors throng the city of Asaba on daily basis to do business, have meetings, or simply to relax and have some rest. The government reserved area GRA Asaba offers a quiet serenity backed up with the presence of the powerful government house. Nestled within this quiet and serene GRA is number 10 Apartments, a beautiful architectural masterpiece, a home away from home. Exquisite, serene, classy, luxury, peaceful, a safe haven.
The apartment is developed to be a home away from home. It's a place where you don't have crowd, and then we want our guests to feel at home whenever they come in, to have their privacy, to be comfortable, to be independent, and feel at home and enjoy their stay.
Number 10 Apartments has elevated the concept of hospitality into an art of luxury nurtured in nature. Its homely ambience is a magnetic pull for those who cherish comfort, nature, serenity, luxury, and safety. Ensconced within the proximity of Government House, Asaba, and the Police Force Headquarters, Delta State, Number 10 Apartments is a perfect place for those who seek complete security and a sanctuary of luxury.
Number 10 Apartment is very, very close to the Government House. Is a walking distance from the Government House to Number 10 Apartment. Because it is located behind the police headquarters, the safety of the environment is guaranteed.
Hello, good afternoon. This is Number 10 Apartments. We are here to deliver the best services.
A sojourn in Number 10 Apartments is a journey of total comfort. From the reception, the ambience fills you with warmth, nature, and class, ideal for short or long-term stays. Welcome to our 3-bedroom presidential luxury apartment, tastefully furnished for your comfortable family or group stay.
In our 3-bedroom apartment, we have a very spacious living room. We have a dining area. We have a mini bar. The master's bed is wonderful. It is a place where you can actually feel at home, like you are in your own house. The restroom is equipped with jacuzzi, and the wardrobe is top-notch. Whatever you find in that master bedroom, I believe you will have the best. Then we have a well-equipped kitchen with electrical appliances.
The elegant 2-bedrooms diplomatic apartment is specially prepared for a smaller group of family, friends, or colleagues. Step into our spacious 1-bedroom executive suite just for your own maximum comfort. Cozy yourself up in our 1-bedroom deluxe suite. Then be all to yourself in our well-appointed studio room for that single room effect. All our apartments are exquisitely furnished and fit for purpose that make your stay memorable. A relaxation at number 10 apartment garden is an elixir of rest, entertainment, and instant satisfaction. Our 24 hours power supply, modern facility, all-round internet service, homemade aura, professional management, a strong culture of customer care, and excellent housekeeping make our guests the kings and queens in number 10 apartment kingdom. With a vision to deliver the best comfort and luxury, and a mission to provide a safe and serene accommodation, styled like your home, you are surely immersed in paradise. Number 10 Apartments, your maximum comfort and luxury, your safe haven, your serene habitat, makes your stay memorable and cradles you with unique hospitality. Welcome to number 10 Apartment, your nest of luxury.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. And of course, Fra is already here. It's time to speak some French. Bonjour.
Bonjour, monsieur.
All right. That's how we welcome
yes.
Bonjour,
mademoiselle.
Bonjour, mademoiselle.
Comment ça va?
Bonjour, comment ça va?
Madame.
Comment c'était le week-end?
Ah, c'était bien passé.
C'était bien passé. Eh bien, ça se montre.
Ça va?
Ta coiffure, tes lunettes, et puis les
merci,
choses là.
Monsieur,
Tu es bien,
merci.
habillé.
Merci, monsieur. Et vous aussi?
Ça chauffe.
Oh, vraiment, ça chauffe.
Be coming down there.
Vraiment, ça chauffe. Bon, bonjour mes chers téléspectateurs, bonjour à tous et bonjour mes amis. Et comment vous allez? J'espère que vous allez très bien, n'est-ce pas? Oui, aujourd'hui, c'est aujourd'hui. Today is today. Have you heard that word? Yes. Okay. My dear viewers, my dear darling, wonderful, amazing viewers out there, today is French. Comme d'habitude, aujourd'hui, c'est notre programme de français pour le débutant. Je m'appelle toujours Françoise Anthony Francisca. Mais j'aime comme vous m'appelez Fra. Yes, I'm your presenter, Miss Anthony Francisca. The Francisca in French is Françoise. And I like when you call me Fra. Yeah, if you call me that, I always feel on top of the roof. Yes. Okay. Comme d'habitude, la fois passée, in case you missed the last time, don't worry, you're not missing anything. On va faire un peu la répétition, ce qu'on a fait la fois passée. We're going to do a little recap on what we did last time. Yes, the last time we did so présenté. On dit so présenté. So présenté, apprenons à parler de nous. Yes, to learn how to talk about ourselves. And I say so many things about so présenté, which is if you meet someone first to say bonjour, and the bonjour is good morning. And what brought about, what to bring after the good, what comes or what will come after the good morning is what is your name or how are you? Comment ça va? Which is how are you? And after how are you, say je m'appelle. You like to tell the person about yourself. Like je m'appelle. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci. Et vous? Je m'appelle, my name is, you now say your name, Francisca. Then, j'ai 10 ans, you now say, you're trying to tell the person about you, remember? Yes. Je 10 ans, I am 10 years old. Then, je suis Nigérian. If you lady, Nigérian. Je suis Nigérian. Nigérian. Et if you man, if you guy, you can say, je suis Nigérian. Oui, I am a Nigerian. Then we say, j'habite. Where do you live? Remember, we are all telling someone about us, right? Yes. J'habite, not to the person where you live. You say, j'habite à Asaba. J'habite à Enugu. J'habite à Abuja. Yes, I live in Abuja, Enugu, and so on. And I said again the last time, j'aime la musique. You're trying to tell someone what you like most. J'aime la musique, j'aime danser, j'aime manger, and the rest of it. Then at the end of it, what do you end the so présenté with? Enchanté. Enchanté is nice to meet you. Yes, nice to meet you. Enchanté, c'est ma plaisir. Enchanté is really my pleasure meeting you. And after that, au revoir. You know, say au revoir. That's the end of the so présenté. So in case if you're not here last time, don't worry. This is what we did last time. Et aujourd'hui, today, we are having a beautiful topic. Let us leave so présenté aside. Today, on a un joli sujet intitulé les nombres. Les nombres. Les nombres. Il faut prononcer, il faut répéter après moi. Please try to repeat after me. You know, French is all about repetition. Yes, les nombres, which is French numbers. We have so many of them, but as for beginners, remember, we are here for beginners. We are going to start with 0 à 20. Les nombres. Les nombres. No, not nombre. No, nombre. Voilà, c'est ça. De 0 à 20. Yes. 0 to 10, 11 to 20. 0, please, let's go. That's very wonderful. It will be very amazing. On y va. Let's go. Les nombres 0. 0. 0. You see? That we again come out. 0. 1. 0. 0. 0. Oui. 0. 1. 1. 2. 2. 3. 3. 4. 4. 4. Can say 4. 4. Yes. But for beginners, 4. 4. 5. 5. 5. Make the k to come out. 5. 6. 6 is 6. No changes. 6. 6. Sept. Sept. The t and p sound will come out. Sept. Sept. Wheat. Wheat. Not hoot. No. The ash. Remember our alphabet. Yes. Don't worry. Let's now take us back again to alphabet. Yes. Ash. The ash sound is silent. Is we eat. Wheat. Wheat. Nef. 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 This. Dix. 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 0. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Voilà. Is it hard? Non. Est-ce que c'est difficile? Non, ce n'est pas difficile. C'est très facile. It's very, very simple. C'est très facile. It's very simple. You know, our numbers is all about the way you pronounce it, even help you in knowing how to read your numbers. And there are two things Two things, le nombre and le chiffre. Le chiffre, let me not go there. Le chiffre is kind of figures and it's not kind of numbers. Number is numbers. Le nombre, le nombre. Okay, on recommence. Je veux recommencer maintenant. Let me start over again. 0, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now 11 à 11 à 20. 11 to 20 now. Les nombres de à 11 à 20. Numbers 11 to 20. Let's go. On y va. 11, 11, 11, 11, 11. Yes, oui. 12, 12, 12. Is it how you pronounce 12? Keep your mouth like 12. Yes, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. Just 13. 13, 14, 14, 14, 11, 14, 14, 15, 15, 15. You see how it is? 15, 16, z must come out. 16, 16, 16, 16, 17, 17, 18, 18, 19, 20. The T in 20 is silent. 20, 20, 20, not 20. Not 20. 20, 20. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Yes, I want to talk about something. Je vais dire quelque chose maintenant, okay? From 11 to 20, there's one thing about French language. 11. If you must know your numbers, please 11 from 10 to 11 is very important. The reason is because 11, you can't change this anywhere. 11 is 11, 12 is 12, 13 is 13. Then come to 16. 16, this set like this and set, this is 10, remember, and set is 7. So if you bring this, you bring 7, you put them together is 17, which is 17. That is this set. 18 is also the same way, 6 and 8, 18.
Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. We had to give you a rebroadcast of an old edition because our presenter was not available today, but I'm sure you tried to catch something from that. We're shifting our conversation. This time we are having in the studio somebody who has come here once and again because of an event, very important event for journalists in the state, broadcasters, talking about the Delta Broadcast Media Conference that was held on Friday. Friday was the 14th of August. And we thought that having, dealt with the matter, sufficiently, we should be able to let you know how it went and what transpired. And for that reason, we're bringing to the studio the convener of that great event, talking about a media personality, Rookie Honoro. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're looking so sublime. How's it going? I like your haircuts.
Thank you.
And your jackets. You're
Thank
doing
you.
good.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Where's our t-shirts?
Okay.
Hey, we'll bring them.
It's
it's not part of the program. Now, the program, we did as much as we could do to, create awareness about the coming of the program.
Yeah.
Now the program has come, the program is gone. But we want to, catch your mood. How do you review the whole thing that transpired, and how do you sum up your satisfaction with what transpired?
Well, thank you very much, Dott TV. Good morning to you again.
Good morning.
It's always a pleasure to be here in your state-of-the-art studio. And also for the work that you did pre-DBMC, you did a lot of publicity for us. And for that, we are very grateful. It's good to have stations like you collaborating with noble ideas like what we brought on with the Delta Broadcast Media Conference. And yes, how do I feel? I feel good. I feel very satisfied. We had a conference of, I think we had about 3 months to prepare for it. And it turned out to be beyond our expectations, with respect to the attendees, the flow of the event, the mood in the room. You can tell from the mood in the room how the recipients are taking in the content and what we have for them on the day. But it was just beautiful to see, right even on the faces of participants, they had something to go home with. And even the guests that came, all of them, they were very excited meeting Delta broadcasters because they are not based here, even though they have affiliations with Delta. For instance, Agatha Mata, she is a Deltan, from this part of, I think, Delta North, somewhere around Ila. That's where she's from. But she's not based here. She's doing her stuff outside of Delta. But she said to me, this is the first time.
I think she has affiliation with a broadcast station.
Yeah, she has a media house. Quite frankly, she does. But she doesn't stay here. She just leaves somebody to run it, and she does her thing in Lagos. But she said to me, this is the first time she's seen a different type of broadcasters. In the room, she saw people that were willing and hungry for a change, ready for a change. And that's the beauty of what we did. And participants came from all around Delta, from Warri. In fact, big shout out to Delta Broadcasting Service. Warri. They came with 2 buses, filled up, and also big shout out to Mega FM. In fact, the Mega FM, they did marvelously well. Mobilize not just their staff, even their interns. They came in good numbers as well. And not forgetting Quest FM Ugeli. Even Eku FM. I mean, not too many people know that there's a radio station in Eku. Eku is the road that leads to Abraka. So it's not you wouldn't really think there's a media house there, but there are Deltans.
Just on media is a bit obscure.
Exactly, but with the numbers we saw, Cruise FM, Trend FM, it was just filled with an array of stars in the room, and then also we had the regulators there, the South Zonal Coordinator of the National Broadcasting Commission. She was there live. And even the state coordinator, that's state coordinator here in Delta, Mrs. Ngozi, she was also there live as well. We had the National Orientation Agency.
I am concerned about Broadcasting Organization of Nigeria. Maybe that would have been an opportunity to say how we're faring. They have their issues with stations that, breach their
fines and all that.
So I don't know whether they had the opportunity to mention that.
Because we had an interaction session, and where questions were asked, and those are some of the questions that were asked. And the NBC lady, she gave good answers.
Okay.
If you breach the code, you would most likely pay the fine. But she then talked about how not to breach the code,
Okay.
how stations and media practitioners should know what should be broadcast
Okay.
and what should not be broadcast. It was just an array of information that I think today's broadcaster need.
Yeah.
And that's why we're very grateful to God.
Very many of the up and coming ones, because
Exactly.
they don't know about it.
The up and coming
in our
ones.
old school approach to broad, there are things we call NTBB,
Not
built for broadcast.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
I'm sure most of them don't know it. So, that would have been an occasion to educate them.
Certainly, it was an opportunity to educate them, and beyond that, also we had robust sessions. When I mean sessions, the sessions were very, very captivating.
Yeah.
The moments that the guest speakers, the topics that they highlighted on. I mean, Ayomara essay, she talked about in-depth analysis as a journalist, because we have to also look at their strength.
Yes.
We know, Ayo, she's carved a niche for herself to be a very thorough analyst.
Yeah.
When she analyzes a program or analyzes a topic, she does it and she leaves no crumbs, when she's done with it. Both sides of the story, with in-depth, with proper balance.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons we also brought her, so she could share with Delta broadcasters how to become that balanced with your analysis.
Okay.
And of course using today's technology. And she talked about Google Gemini. She talked about a whole lot of things, and how not to be over reliant and over dependent on artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because artificial intelligence is just what it is. You still need a human being
Artificial is artificial.
to guide that artificial intelligence, that
educated.
AI machine.
Yeah.
So yes, there's been the misconception that AI will take our jobs. And I heard it loud and clear, even in that room. AI cannot take the jobs of human beings.
True.
Because a human being is a human being, and a machine will still be a machine.
It's garbage in, garbage out.
So we learned a lot.
Okay.
We really did learn a lot that day, and I'm grateful to God for the first off, the fair weather we had.
Okay.
There was nobody who came into that place and say, "Oh, my car broke down," or "We had an accident." I mean, a lot of people spent like 3 hours on the road to get here, and they went back again. So it was smooth. God was with us, and most importantly, the Delta State government was with us. And for that, I want to say thank you to His Excellency, the Governor of Delta State, Right Honorable Elder Sheriff Oboriwori. Not in person, but he was there in spirit.
Okay.
He was there in soul. Just body that was not there.
Who represented him?
Well, because of the engagement that the state had at the time, there was the funeral of the APC state chairman. I think the mother died.
The mother,
and everybody was out of town. Everybody.
And the governor was really engaged.
We couldn't just move the event, even though I would have loved to move it. But then when you get the thumbs up of the governor and say, "Go ahead, I'm with you," we had no choice. We had to go. That's what matters at the end of the day. And we just are grateful to God. When I mean we now, because we are the Delta Broadcast Media Organization.
Yes.
All right, we're a team of passionate broadcasters that want to see change in our state, and not just in Delta, in Nigeria at large.
Okay, so I can see, like, from what you say, that you have a massive support from the governor of Delta State, and which is actually a good one, him buying into the vision of, media in the states and, all over. And also, I can see the level of success from the conference, the major summit. Should I use it? What summit or conference?
Feel
Okay.
free.
Oh, John.
So what you want to say is, because you have, a good number of time to plan, and that is what brought about this huge success for the conference. And also, would you want to also, I want you to tell us, is it because you have a large number of time, a good number of time to plan, to, do one or two, and, sell the idea also to other media houses and, journalists?
Well, the indices for the success are too numerous to mention.
Okay.
First of all, the idea itself is one that anybody would embrace because we want to see Delta, be that shining light in the media industry in Nigeria. Like they say, Delta no they carry last, and certainly we made it known to the entire country that we are brewing a new set of energy in the industry. We are pace setters in Delta State, and as you know, our governor is one who likes to lead from the front. You could see that he conveyed an economic and investment summit just about 2-3 weeks ago, and it shook the entire nation. And now we're having a media conference that I don't think any state in Nigeria is doing.
Has had initiative.
But we won't be surprised if they now begin to do this. Because I observed that even Anambra Broadcasting Service came for this event.
Wow.
Yes, of course.
Stations in Anambra, they were there. The Wazobia FMs, the ABA. I'm like, wow. So I won't be surprised if Anambra decide to, follow suit and begin to have media conferences. And it's good to contaminate people positively.
That's right.
Right. So I'm grateful to God. And about time, yes, timing also played a role. Yeah, we had time to prepare. In fact, as I tell you now, preparation for 3.0 has started.
Okay, now.
It has started already.
Fired by the success of 2.0.
Exactly.
Okay, 2.0.
So 2.0. So we're not laying low because the truth is knowledge is never ending.
That's right.
And you don't get to the epitome of knowledge and say, I now know it all.
Everything.
No, you are not Jehovah El Shaddai, so you've got to always keep learning. All right. And I like the fact that most people who attended this event, this conference, they learned something new.
Okay.
I've interacted with a lot of people and they tell me, oh, I now know better how to, use the microphone to my advantage. And the idea of getting sorted with brown envelopes, which is still one major problem in our industry all over the country.
Well,
journalists like
a poverty
brown
factor.
envelope.
No, everybody likes envelope.
Yeah, but for us, our own is brown.
Don't pin it on journalists. Because
yes, the point. We're talking about journalists.
Do you know that even our front lines, like a place like our international airports, they still do that. Hey, what do you have for your girl? Hey, you're coming back from America. Did you bring dollar? Hey.
Well, I understand your point.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's poverty factor, you said?
Yeah.
Well, poverty is not when you don't have money.
Okay.
Poverty is a state of the mind.
Yes.
And that's why we are trying to work on the mindset of journalists in Delta State and in Nigeria at large. Work on their mindset. You don't have to show that you don't have money in your bank account. Nobody sees your bank account except you and your account officer.
That's right.
And your account officers cannot release the details.
Divulge information.
All right. So nobody would know if you only have 5K in your pocket. But carry yourself because you have the power. And that power is that microphone. That power is that camera. All right.
How does the camera and the microphone translate to money in the pocket?
Well,
can you tell us?
Now you want to make me go into.
Maybe it's part of the takeaway from the
Yes, some takeaways from it.
We are here behind the camera, in front of the camera, and if you like, behind the microphone. And when we finish here now, of course, we're going to take lunch. How does our stay here translate? Can you tell us?
Anyways, big shout out to the CEO of Inside Out Media, and she owns Rave TV and Trend 100.9 FM here in Asaba. That's the person of Agatha Mata. She talked about this extensively, how to not be that journalist who would look after or look for the brown envelope. See the microphone as your power and see the camera as your power. And she talked extensively, but I'm just going to give you a few things she said about seeing the microphone as your power. First of all, when you are a journalist and you are before, I say this all the time. I didn't know she was going to say it there.
Yes.
Because I also manage young people in the industry, and I tell them the commissioner or whoever it is that you're in, the governor, whoever it is, any politician in this case, or somebody who has attained some elite status in society that you're interviewing.
Yes.
You don't have to make that person feel bigger than you on the show.
Okay.
No, you don't have to, because there's a way you're going to interview. I've seen a lot of broadcasters interview politicians, and they showed in front of camera that they are in need.
Sir, answering sir.
You get the point. You don't need to do that. She talked about even your introduction.
Yeah.
There's a way you introduce somebody, the person will know that you need money.
Yeah. Okay.
The person will know that you're in need of brand. You need brand envelope.
You're not a hype.
You're not a hype man. So she talked extensively. If the person's name is Right Honorable Elder Sheriff Oboriwori, the executive governor of Delta State, leave it there.
Yeah.
The minute you start going, the Ukodo of Africa, the one and only, the Buruburu one, the mover and shaker of flyovers, you are looking for brown envelope. And you know, these people, they know these things.
Yes.
By the time you do it, they now know this one is one of them. Oh yeah.
Where are you?
Give him something.
Look for something.
You know, and that's not where we want to be. A Christian Amampo would not do that. She's interviewed presidents.
That's right.
A Richard Quest will not do that. And the moment we begin to embrace these changes, like I said, poverty is not when you don't have money.
Yeah.
It's in the mind.
Mentality.
It's your mindset. So the minute we start embracing these new ways of even introducing, now this is just introducing guests.
Yes.
I believe that's the first step in the right direction to, you know, changing the brown envelope syndrome in the broadcast media industry.
Okay.
All right, let's begin to tell off, because we still like to bring the LOC chairman to tell us about logistics and all that, if there were challenges. Now, the award categories.
Oh.
Yes, just highlight it. Let's see.
You know,
found out and how the people received the giving out of the awards.
You know, when we started planning for DBMC 2026, we decided to add a few spice to what we did last year. You know, this is not the first time. We had one last year, and last year was good. And we said, okay, can we add something to make it a lot better? And we decided to come up with the awards, you know, awarding deserving broadcasters, both broadcasters now as a unit, as an organization, and then, of course, individuals. And we came up with just 5 categories, just 5. We didn't want to go beyond 5 because, like I said to them, if we want to give awards to broadcasters in Delta, we would have maybe 50 categories.
Of course.
Because Delta is so big. There are practitioners in Warri, there are practitioners in Ughelli. When I mean the Warri axis covers the Ughelli. There are practitioners in Delta North, that's the practitioners in Asaba here and environs and Agbo. You know, so there are lots of people who don't even know. Delta is very blessed. I say this everywhere I go.
Yeah, it is.
Media-wise, we're even blessed, more blessed than any other state in Nigeria.
That's right.
There are lots of media houses in Warri that people in Asaba don't even know they exist.
True.
I kid you not. And they are doing very well in Warri.
Wow.
Media houses in Asaba doing very well in Asaba. People in Warri don't even know they exist.
True.
Why? Because the state is so large, the signals don't even get there.
Yeah.
So much so, the state government had to even have 2 media outfits, one in Asaba, one in Warri, to cover the entire state. You know, so Delta is really big. So if we say we want to do awards, we would have Asaba category and we'll have Warri category.
Did it go?
So we decided to just do a litmus test with 5 categories: best radio station, best TV station, best radio program, best TV program, and then best on-air personality.
Okay.
Now, we made it to be we simplified it to the barest. You vote for whoever it is and you see the result in real time.
Okay.
All right. And the voting process was absolutely free. All you need to do, go on the website, log in with your email. We decided to do that so we don't get one person voting twice. All right. You can only vote twice when you have multiple emails.
Yes. Okay.
And we know if you're a human being, how many emails can you possibly have?
5.
Maybe 5 max. All right. So except you are an AI machine that have 1,000 emails, which we know is not possible.
All right, we'll end it here. Thank you.
We're
very
out of
much.
time.
No,
because
but it's okay.
we still need to
It's
take
all
another
right.
conversation.
One more last question.
It's
like
all right.
for those who couldn't really attend the event, and I don't know if there is a way they can actually go back to watch the whole section.
Yes, they can. In fact, on our web, on the internet right now, on YouTube. It's even on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
Delta Broadcast Media Conference 2026. You see it, 3 hours. We didn't even. We don't want to stay more.
Okay,
just
on
3 hours, and
YouTube,
it was good.
It
Really
was
good.
just 3 hours.
3 hours.
Oh.
It's all right. Like I said, let's make way for another conversation. I'm sure what you did not say, the LOC chairman will say.
Of course,
we
it will.
want to
It
bring
will.
him into
It will.
talk about his
Yes.
aspect.
It will.
Thank you very much,
Thank
Rookie,
you.
for
Thank
that.
you.
Thank
And
you,
of course,
Nora.
as you begin to prepare for 3.0, we wish you well.
Thank you.
Yeah, viewer.
Congratulations.
Just stay tuned, and of course, we'll also take on the LOC chairman for the Delta Media Broadcast. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
We impose extra burden on the masses. I feel your pain.
Factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.
Yes, welcome back. And of course, we think it good to wrap everything up with the LOC chairman. Yes, the convener is okay, but you see, the actual challenge is in the organization, mobilizing, seeking for logistics and all that. And of course, we cannot but bring to the studio the man who was behind it all in terms of running around. And of course, incidentally, he was also one of the recipients of award on the occasion, talking about our own Samuel Fejoko, who is, a media personality par excellence. It can be termed a veteran because he was in the airspace for over 30 years, as it were.
Okay.
And then we want to find out how you fared. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Nice to be here again.
You people are just intimidating us. He wore the t-shirt,
Do
you
you
were wearing the
understand?
cap.
And he came with a face
You people
cap.
did not remember us and all our input. Yes. Okay.
Let me start on that note.
Maybe you are bringing brown envelope for
Yes,
us.
on that note, because you actually asked what were some of the challenges you
Yes, sure.
faced. Putting together an event of this magnitude, it's definitely not a tea party.
Sure.
It's not, and managing human beings is the most difficult thing to actually do.
That's right.
So putting people together to do this and that, let me also take you back to what, when you asked Rookie, how much, when you asked if His Excellency was actually present, and he
Yeah.
said he was there in spirit and soul and all this stuff. Yes, apart from the fact that, he said that weekend was loaded.
Very choked.
And very choked. But we were in constant touch with him
Okay.
because in the first place, the venue we used, for you to actually use that place, you need the express permission of His Excellency the Governor.
Okay.
That week, we almost missed using the Unity Hall. Because that same week was used by UBEC, the Universal
for
Basic
their
Education
event,
Commission,
yeah.
it was supposed to be a 1-week event.
Yes.
But it actually ended on a Wednesday.
Okay.
So when we went back to the permanent secretary protocol in charge of
Government House.
the Government House, Unity Hall and all that, he said on paper, UBEC was to make use of the Unity Hall for the entire week. So there's no way he can, flout
Yeah,
the
that,
governor's
that instruction.
directive, So we were faced with, where do we now go to?
Hmm.
Meanwhile, the venue has been on air for
Publicized.
long.
Yeah.
A lot of people were looking forward to, coming to Unity Hall. So we were now, toying with the idea of, okay, let's go to either Lamy Bell or this. It meant paying for it. The least hall you can actually get, the least amount you can pay is about 600,000 naira.
Very well.
And as at this time, we were already
You have been spent.
up to our ears in debt, So we wanted to actually reach the governor by all means. To reach him, the commissioner for information was already out of the country.
Yeah.
The state director of protocol was out of the country. So to reach the governor became a daunting task. But somehow, through the PS government, we have 2 PSs in government house.
Yeah.
One in charge of protocol, the other one government house proper. Was now liaising. This was at the eve of the program. I'm talking about
Thursday.
As at Thursday, we were not sure whether we're going to use the Unity Hall. So, but somehow, up to like 7:30 p.m. of that Thursday, we're able to now reach His Excellency the Governor, and he sent a message through the PS that, okay, fine, I'm going to allow you guys this time.
Okay.
Otherwise, for anybody to use that place, it has to have my endorsement. So when he gave his approval, security-wise too, we couldn't stay inside the government house beyond 9 p.m. So we just had about an hour to do the first, decorations we needed to do.
Okay.
And had to resume the following morning as early as 5 a.m. So that was what actually made the events to start that late. When I came up here, I told you that, like
10
broadcasters, time is time. But because of that main issue, we didn't start the events. Decoration was still going on when people were arriving. At 10 after 10. We didn't start the event until about 11:30 to 12.
Oh, really?
So these were some of the challenges we faced. But even at that, the enthusiasm with the participants coming in actually kept us going.
Yes.
When you were prepared so much and you were faced with some of these challenges, you tend to be discouraged.
Yeah.
But when people are coming in and they showed empathy and all this stuff, it gave us the strength to actually continue to do this thing. And at the end of the day, it was a huge success.
Yeah, let's look at this because, that was my fear from the outset. I asked this question about financial logistics because having to host people from different places and all that, and then your resource person, some of them, in fact, most of them having to fly.
Yeah.
And we know the cost of and then you just mentioned neck deep in debt. So are you still owing?
We're still owing, as a matter of fact.
So how do you offset?
I believe that we're going to offset. I believe that His Excellency the Governor, since he already has given his permission for us to use that place, I'm sure that he would also treat our memo and something will come out of it. Part of what actually delayed it too is also part of the challenge.
Yeah.
Now, we fixed this date like 5 months back.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
But it was based on the availability of that venue that we had chosen,
Yes.
because if any events that the governor endorses was going to take place there,
Yeah.
there's no way we'll have been
You
allowed.
mean and Albany should get the approval of the governor for the use of the place?
No, we got the through the PS.
Okay.
So okay, fine. But with the proviso
Yeah.
that there was not going to be anything that
There
it
will
would
not be
involve the
offset.
Delta State government.
Okay.
You know, so that was what happened. Now, and before that too, when it got to like a month or so to this period, the Delta State Economic and Investment Summit
Yes.
started knocking. So everybody was running from pillar to post, from the commissioner who was deeply involved and
Praying and they're hoping.
you know.
that
So
it does not-
our memo couldn't pass through because the man said this investment summit is the only thing that the governor was thinking about.
Yes.
So we had to wait again till the summit actually ended, and then the next thing was that UBEC thing, and before you know it's the weekend choked up
Event.
and yes, schedule of His Excellency the Governor. So a lot of challenges, but we did not, even though we toyed with the idea of postponing.
Yeah.
You know, at a point, even the commissioner, when he too was like almost overwhelmed, well, he said, "Well, would you guys like to postpone?" We said, "Oh, we've already come this far. Let's see it through." You know, and we saw it through.
All
So
right.
I believe financial wise,
Yes.
it
It will be settled.
It will be.
My
by God's
prayer is
grace.
that God will help you.
Amen.
God can pay all debts.
Amen.
By His own way. All right,
Yeah.
let's come this way. Talking about the period being choked up, even though it was not your anticipation.
Yeah.
One of your keynote speakers, talking about Shehu Okiblaloye.
Okay, yeah.
Incidentally, the election of his state, came up exactly that same
That's
time.
a period.
And then, of course, he was leading the team of channels where he works to Osun.
election.
So how were you able to maneuver? What happened? Did he come on Zoom or somebody had to replace him?
No,
Or you canceled his own bit?
Yeah, we toyed with the idea of he coming on Zoom, but
Okay.
because we didn't want to take the chance with our network,
Okay.
you know, so we now asked him to send his manuscript, which he did, and I was able to
present
do
it.
I actually did the
Brilliant
presentation.
idea.
You know, so I had to just kind of.
And I trust you.
You know,
That's a brilliant
so
idea.
that's all.
The body came on
So
you as the
I-
LOC chairman.
Yeah, so I did double presentation.
That's all right.
That's what I did.
Wow.
Yeah, so.
Okay. Now, one of the highlights of the event was the awards.
Yeah.
And of course, there were categories. But the interesting thing is that one of the categories was won by you. How does it feel? It's like ghost head falling to ghost back.
No, let me tell you,
Goes back.
my LSE members, especially the convener Rookie,
Okay.
shocked me to my marrows.
Yeah.
Oh, you weren't expecting it as well.
It was not part of the plan.
Okay.
Wow.
As far as I was concerned, though, as the LOC chairman, I knew that we chose 5 categories,
Okay.
which we prepared for everything, you know. So I think maybe after holding the LOC meeting, they will hold another one that I didn't know I wasn't part of, you know. So after they did all this thing and they called Agatha Amata up to present I was not even listening. I was even busy exchanging pleasure. Somebody said, they are calling you on stage. What's happening on stage? And it was the Life Achievement Award. It's it's kind of, it swept me off my feet, so to speak, you know. But I was very happy that I was duly recognized based on my pedigree. And it was one of the most beautiful moments.
Wow.
You know,
I can
for
feel
me.
your excitement right now.
It's difficult for one to blow his trumpet. But you cannot quantify how much you have contributed to the media space.
That's right.
Right from Benin.
Yeah.
And given your age also, the time you joined broadcasting, you were very young. And most young people could identify with you. And the spices you brought, I for one, I can help you blow your trumpet. And I can say I was happy for you. I am happy for you.
Yes.
Because
same here.
you were one person that did broadcasts with so much ease, so much commitment.
Yeah.
Not really about what you are looking for, but there was it was for you, it was like your life. And when you operate from the point of view of your gifting and what you have interest in, you just do it naturally without expecting any, and coming like that, I think is very, very gratifying. I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
And we hope that even you are still in the broadcast industry because
why not?
even the job you are doing for the governor, you are still,
It's the same
you are
thing.
still,
You
you are
know,
still broadcasting.
let me now say this. I don't know when I mentioned it last time. I say as part of my give back that I'm actually planning to establish a broadcast academy.
Good.
Because a lot of people have been asking me, you know, all this experience you have, are you just going to let it go like that? You need to impact. So it's part of what I actually have. It's in the works.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, so this is the summit, the conference has come and gone successfully. So I want to ask, at the end of it, did you have interaction with, attendees, people that actually attended the summit to know what were actually their take home, like what they didn't know before, they learned this, I learned this, I now know this?
Yeah, a lot of participants actually, we exchanged numbers. A lot of them actually took our contact. The mass communication students from DOU, they were all very excited.
Yeah.
In fact, I think one of the leaders actually took my number and said they would love to organize something like this, and they would want us to actually
come
in and all that. So
advise them.
Yeah, so a lot actually went down, and I believe that they are waiting for 3.0.
Now, bringing this,
in fact, we're told that 3.2 is already in the works.
Yes, it's in the works already. So bringing this back to our universities, institutions, do you think something like this, apart from, what we learn or what we learn in the classroom while in school, still now like our, how is it called again? Communication,
Mass communication.
Mass communication now. Do you think stuff like this should be organized, time to time in the schools as well to, bring those students to know more about broadcasting?
Yeah, it's very, very important. And I'm glad too that, even in most universities now, it's not just mass communication has been, broken down.
Yeah. Okay,
it has been unbundled. No, not just mass communication.
Yeah.
You now have journalism, film, cinematography, and all those stuff. Yes, unlike before, it used to be just mass communication. Now, let me also tell you too that part of the logistic challenge, why we couldn't go beyond DOU, was based on that financial logistics. We actually wanted to reach out to all the schools in Delta, all the mass communication students in all the schools in Delta, and hopefully by next year. And of course, we're not going to be using the Unity Hall anymore because Unity Hall, the capacity is just for about 600 persons. We had more than that.
That's the highest.
So instead of having a spillover at the outside the hall, so by next year we're going to get a bigger hall where it can take as many as like 3,000 to 4,000 participants. Because we are also hoping to actually expand this apart from practitioners in Delta, also like practitioners from other states and even from outside the country to be part of this event.
All right, thank you, Samuel. One word expressing your satisfaction on how that the thing came and went successfully.
Overwhelming and satisfying.
All right, viewer, that is where we're going to wrap it on our today's program with the conversation with the LOC chairman for the Delta Broadcast Media Conference. We hope you join us tomorrow for another edition of the program. Bye. Wake up with us every morning.
We'll bring you news at its peak.
Accurate and factual report.
Morning Dew, where every sunrise begins with inspiration and fresh perspectives.